Hello, Omborn Studios. This is part 2 of Freestyle Ukulele Scales. Part 1 we did major pentatonic. Now we're going to do minor pentatonic. Minor pentatonic. So to make it minor, all you have to do is start on the last note. Start on note 6. So it's A, in the key of A minor, C major, same notes. A minor, C major, same notes. A, C, D, E, G, A. Okay? You're going to go 6, 1, 2, 3, 5. That's minor pentatonic. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. That's major pentatonic. In the end, you're going to renumber. But that may be confusing for a beginner. But just to get the pattern, just as part of your vocabulary so you don't have to look it up. If you know major, just start on 6, okay? And you know your numbers. From major, start on 6, okay? In the end, I'll renumber it. Well, let me renumber it now, just so you'll have it. 6, 1, 2, 3, 5. If you renumber everything, that's 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. So you see you have a minor 7 in there. You got a sus 4 in there. Maybe a minor 11. Anyway, that's what happens when you renumber it. And you're going to have to renumber it eventually because the 1 is your root and you have to see it in terms of like a minor. But I'm just telling you the quickest way, the way I started out, I just said like start on 6 in my mind and then just kind of played. All right, enough of that. Let's go down. The cage sequence, we'll talk about that later to match it to simple chords. But let's go all the way down, right? You see all these patterns we did in part 1. We're going to start at the last one, okay? Because since we're starting on 6, we want major pattern 5, okay? But it's minor pattern 1. And we do the numbers, it would be 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 6, 1, 2. You see that? So that's why we're calling this the minor pentatonic pattern 1, because it starts out everything, okay? And then if you renumber it, this would be 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 1, flat 3, 4. You're going to have to renumber it eventually because that's how you fit the pentatonic, your pattern, right? So if you had a C minor, something in C minor, you would want this note to be C, right? Wherever it is on your ukulele. Okay, guitar. If you're coming from guitar world, right? We know minor pentatonic pattern 1 looks like this. Okay. And we're getting the top 4 strings and we're just kind of moving it to, the bottom 4, excuse me. We have the bottom 4 strings and we're moving it to the top 4 strings. Okay. This is a guitar. If you're coming from guitar, okay? Simple. All right. Simple relative term, right? All right, so let's keep going. Let's go up. Whoop. Let's go back up to the next one. The next one would be major pentatonic 1, but this would be the minor pentatonic 2, right? So basically, it's starting on the flat 3. Well, major pentatonic, it would look like this. Trying not to confuse you. Major pentatonic, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. But for minor pentatonic, this here, how can I erase? Okay, can't erase on this thing, this little annotation thing. That would be your root. That note there, that's your root. The 6 is the 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, like that, okay? So you start right there, or your home base would be there, okay? Okay, I'm not going to renumber. I'm just going to do everything in terms of major, so I won't confuse the people that just learned the major pentatonic patterns and the numbers that go with it. Then we have the next one, which is minor pentatonic pattern 3, major pentatonic pattern 2. By the way, if you're getting confused with all the numbers, just know the shapes and know where the 1 is, okay? We're talking minor. Okay, so what are our major numbers there? 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, 6. So that's your root. So all of your licks, you want to end and start on that root. You don't have to do that, but most of the time you want to kind of and then hit that at the end. Or hit that at the beginning and then and then hit that at the end, right? That's your target note when you're doing your minor pentatonic riffs. Okay, same pattern as major pentatonic. You're just starting and stopping at different points. That's all it is. Almost like modes when we get into modes with the major, the diatonic scale. Okay, 4. It's like 3. 3, 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Here is your root note. Start and end right there. Okay. And then last one, your minor pentatonic pattern 5 or your major pentatonic pattern 4. Major kind of thinking, numbering, that would be 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 1. So 6, that's your target notes for minor, right? Blah, 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 and then end on that. Or you start here and blah, 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 whatever, and then end on that, right? 90% of the time. Sometimes you'll end on the 3 or the 5, the other kind of chord tone. Wait a minute. You'll end on the, the 3 or the 1. Anyway, that's confusing. You don't have to end and start on your root note when you're doing licks and stuff. Your target note doesn't have to be the root. It could be other notes. I'll leave it at that in the chord. And then we're back to the first one, right? The minor pentatonic one, which is major pentatonic 5. I know it's confusing. I know it's confusing. It was confusing to me. But the way I did it is everything's major, like part 1, right? Go back to part 1. Everything's a major. And then try to learn your numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 for the major pentatonic. And then when you switch in minor, say, okay, I'm 6. Okay, start and end on 6. And that'll get you, that'll get you so you can just start playing stuff, right? And then eventually it'll just be natural. You'll be like, okay, I'll just think of that as the 1 and renumber it. 1 flat 3, 4, 5 flat 7. Okay. Same fragments as in part 1. Same fragments, and you're stacking them the same way. It's just where you start and stop. It's not much like a mode, right? It's kind of like the minor mode of your major pentatonic. That's another thing. Modes, you start on different notes. Major, we're going to get into it in the next part with the major scale. Okay, you can't do the same trick for modes in the pentatonic scale as you can do in the major scale. We'll go over that. Okay, for now, that's it. Hope you learned something. Stay with it. Stay with me. Get these patterns so we can start playing some licks and stuff in these patterns. But next, the part 3, we'll use the pentatonic shape as your springboard, and then we'll go to the major scale, the diatonic scale, and then you got the whole tone, whole half, all the other goodness. But okay, that's it for now. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.